public if we could do that.
Basically, I ended up writing these, so you're talking to the right guy.
Okay.
Basically, what had happened is I took basically the CIP that had been put together. It hadn't really been part of, I don't think, your review.
That's true. The entire model ranking system was before we knew what was happening with the electric utility. So they weren't included in that original process. And we kind of included them into the CIP partly through the year. And now the next year we're planning to include them in that process.
So a lot of the data I didn't really have. I was working to try and compile what we were doing. What we had done is internally had gone through the list of projects, looked at projects that we knew we needed or we knew we could get done. So
Right.
what you have is the first attempt, and as things go forward, we get more data, then you'll start seeing the information you're addressing, which is a very good point because that's how you sell this stuff.
Right.
But, you know, I just didn't have really the hard data, other than the fact I had projects and prioritized them kind of coarsely.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Business item number 3, review of the adopted 2015 City of Gardner budget for electric.
No, thanks.
Thank you.
I furnished you the excerpts from the electric part of the budget with the packet. The 2015 budget reflects the council's decision to merge the electric department with the water and wastewater treatment divisions of Public Works. The new structure of the department is shown on page 87 for utilities. Key points is the actual structure over, as far as positions previous to current, there's a net decrease of 3 full-time equivalent positions. The positions that have been eliminated are the electric director, the executive assistant to the board, the generation operations supervisor, the water and wastewater manager, which was a public works position, and then 2 vacant positions. There was an engineering technician that was never filled for electric, and a meter tester. And added was a utility director, a compliance engineer. One of the issues we're finding is that we need more expertise in the area of compliance, and a utility manager, which would serve as a division manager. The budget is set up to where the administration, as you work through it, administration will be backfed from the water and sewer divisions. So that basically the department will be the electric administration division. However, they will support the cost of all the director and then the management overhead with transfers from water and sewer. That's how that will function. I think as we talked earlier, the original thought was one of the issues of merging water and sewer with electric was the issue of the line maintenance crew. Currently the street crew and the line maintenance crew basically have to depend upon each other to back each other up in emergencies. So the decision for this first structure was to move water and wastewater treatment in, but leave line maintenance and public works until those can be staffed up to be self-supporting. I think in the long run you will probably see line maintenance move over into utilities, or it will move to utilities. You'll probably see a division manager for water and wastewater, and then you'll see a specific division manager for electric as it grows. The budget is basically what Mr. Krawcheck had submitted before he left. I went through it with Bruce and generation staff, trying to identify places, basically looking for projects and costs that we just did not have the staff or the ability to accomplish. The big deduction was in the meters and materials new line item of distribution. This year, I think it was possibly sitting on about 700,000. Next year was fairly strong. We reduced those down to what they are now, which is roughly about 550,000, based on our capacity to produce. Because what it does is funds a lot of the projects that the distribution staff is installing. And there are several projects that we just either knew were no longer needed, or we just did not have the staff and equipment time to do it. So that's how this was structured. Some of the capital, some of the equipment purchases, we also deferred just because we didn't need them. But what you see is basically Mr. Krawcheck's budget adjusted based on what we could produce. One of the directions that council had given staff when this started off is don't touch the reserve funds. Leave those intact, let a decision as to how to do with those be made once the new management's back on, once the new board is constituted, and let those decisions be made later. So this, in some ways, is a caretaker budget, but it was designed to get the work done and preserve the cash reserves. I think generally that's kind of an overview, and I think probably the best place to go would be to answer any questions you might have. And I can talk specifically about projects that are in the CIP, or some of the projects that we have on board for.
My first question is that we have the vacant meter tester, and what's our status on testing meters with that vacancy?
Well, currently we have a seasonal helper. A gentleman who used to work in this capacity for us is doing it now. I think we now have the equipment. I think our testing device has finally gotten calibrated, and so he is performing that work now. There is an open position, and we'll need to pursue that. But currently the need is taken up with our seasonal help.
Is he focused mostly on primary metering, Dave?
I'm sorry?
Is he focused on primary metering?
He's focused on just the commercial metering, the residential and the consumer meter. I think as far as the primary metering and like on the substations and that sort of thing.
Well, I'm talking about CPTs for commercial. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, he does all that.
So is this
That's something that needs to be done every year.
is the meter tester, is this the gentleman that comes to the person's house and pulls the meter off of the house, replaces it temporarily, takes the meter and goes and tests it?
Let me defer to
How it
Bruce.
works? Is that
Does he pull the meter?
right? Is that what?
Usually if they have a bad meter or something, the meter reader pulls it, brings it into bill, he checks it.
Oh, I
All the
see.
checks and everything.
I'm curious because I had that done recently. I had
Yeah.
my meter tested.
Yeah.
So, I wasn't sure how they
Yeah.
went about it.
So where are we at? Where are we at as far as the percentage of the city that's been tested, and are we falling behind ever so slightly each year?
No, he's staying up on it pretty good. Yeah, he does, stays busy with it. And he's really good. I mean, he's the one that trained somebody anyway if they came in.
Right, because the only reason that he's not doing it full time is because he's retired.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
I didn't see anything glaring.
And just to update on the positions, as you know, our staff electrical engineer's last day is tomorrow. He was pitched an offer he couldn't refuse from a local engineering firm. On the vacant positions we have now, we have a vacant administrative assistant. We currently have a temporary assistant helping us. Bruce and I will be interviewing candidates next week for that position. We've been given direction to review the staff electrical engineer position, rewrite it, since it now has basically management responsibilities, because that will become the division head for the generation and substations. As soon as we can get that position description rewritten, we're going to advertise for it. The department head position is currently advertised. The position of utility manager, that mid-level manager,